friends. We are starting it out early here, getting some coffee, and look who I just ran into. Anybody recognize this rock and roller's face? Doesn't look the same without being at a winery, but what's going on, Stefan?
We're at Illy's. Check it out. Look how beautiful this is. I didn't even drink it yet. This is how rock and roller does it.
Yeah, welcome to London.
Caffeine and a 3-year-old. It's really fun. You should all try it. It's all fun and games till somebody gets pregnant.
There's our
We should have went to Manchester.
Yeah, what you guys didn't know is that part of our trip here is actually today is Stefan's birthday, and you won't see that vlog today, but you'll see tomorrow that we are going to hang out with KISS. We're going to the KISS concert, and they gave us backstage passes, and we're gonna hopefully set up something for the future that I'm gonna do with them.
I'm not that excited about that either. That's what I like. That's the stuff. I'd like to get on a boat.
You want to go see some dead people, right?
I like dead people. I like Jack the Ripper. I want to see Mama CASS, Keith Moon when they died.
Well, we could go to the cemetery. Golders Green is Keith Moon, Peter Sellers, Mark Bolan.
Okay, to sit and drink tea with people, and, like Alice in Wonderland.
You gotta love that. Make love, not war. Look at the 2 tanks. So for Stefan's birthday, he wanted to geek out with me, so we're gonna go now. We're gonna go behind the Savoy Hotel, and we're gonna find where Bob Dylan made the music video for Subterranean Homesick Blues with the cue cards. We're gonna check out a retro store. Stefan saw this GNR shirt and he wants to look at it. The Doors of the 21st Century. Pee Wee, E.T. and one of the Spice Girls. I think we just found Stefan's birthday present. Wow, check out the KISS looking boots. Hello. Dude, that looks like something Hendrix would have wore, doesn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. They're showing the Tina Turner musical here at the Aldrich Theater. It's kind of cool. We just noticed what looked like gravestones bordering this park. So it's right here. Check this out. Right here, you can actually see that's where Bob Dylan, actually where this guy's standing is kind of where Bob Dylan is in this photo. That was the famous music video where the reason he was making it was because people were saying they didn't know what his lyrics were, that they thought they were indecent. So he made cue cards saying what all the lyrics were. So he was actually standing right here. You can see this building on the right. You can see the stone and everything right there, and he's literally standing like right here flipping those cards over and over and over. Yeah, look at that. You can even see scaffolding on the left. You can see on the right of Bob, you can see all the stones and everything, the stonework that we were looking at, and the building to the left. How awesome is that? Right there. That is so cool. I love that music video. Love that song. Subterranean Homesick Blues. Yeah. I just have to get my picture in front of it. This is just too cool. Some people say that was the very first music video. That's so funny. Stefan pointed out, he's like, hey, they were even doing construction then with all the scaffolding over there in the music video. What the heck? What world are we living in here? This place is interesting. It's called Simpsons. It's got a really great exterior, and then ironically, a Marge Simpson style shrubbery hairdo hanging from there. They're stopping everything in the road right now because the Queen just passed in the cars straight ahead. You see that cop stopped everything? Straight ahead down there is where the Queen's car is. We popped in a hat store so Stefan could buy himself a birthday feather for his hat. Nice. Right now we're in Trafalgar Square. Right now we're trying to make our way over to Mayfair to the old Harry Nilsson flat. And it's all covered up by scaffolding, but that's Big Ben. Here's a statue to King George III. Wow, take a look at those. That's Florence Nightingale. Look at the architecture of that building over there. I love that. That's incredible. Stefan is hard at work looking up addresses because since it's his birthday, he's getting to call some of the shots on what we're vlogging today. So not this stop that we're going to now, but the next one will be all him.
Try to be all me. There's so much you could do in one day, you know. I'm being a co-pilot. There's always 3 pilots on a plane, right?
That's true.
Right over here, Roy Settings, Stefan Adika, and Mr. Jordan, the Lion.
Cutting through a park now. Take a look at that gate. Pretty close. We're about 1 block away from Harry Nilsson's flat. They say it's one of the most cursed flats in town. So right here we have the flat of Harry Nilsson, who, in my opinion, one of the greatest singers of all time. His flat was number 12 at the very, very top. And this is a sort of a cursed flat because 2 famous musicians died in that flat, both at the age of 32, neither one of them being Harry Nilsson. In the early 70s, Mama Cass was in town. Actually, I should say Cass Elliot because she hated at the end being called Mama Cass. Her weight had gotten considerably bigger. People had kind of mentioned it, and when she would do interviews, if people called her Mama Cass, she would get really upset. So she really was just going by Cass Elliot at that time, and she had performed a couple of shows here, and they got pretty decent reviews. And the rumor was that she died up in that very top apartment choking on a ham sandwich, which unfortunately is not true, and that has went down as a legend that people have laughed at forever. But it was actually a mistake by the coroner. She did have a ham sandwich sitting next to her on a table, but it had been completely untouched, and they just said her health and her weight and everything was just much higher than it should have been, and she even knew it. I guess she was saying in interviews that she said once you get into your 30s, you have to start thinking about like heart disease and things like that. So she was planning on taking her weight seriously. But then also 4 years later, at the age of 32, a rock and roll wild man, the drummer of The Who, Keith Moon, also passed away in here. Now, his story was that he was just like, he was going at 1,000 miles an hour pretty much his whole life. And even when he was a kid, on his report cards, it said that like he couldn't pay attention and that he was somewhat of basically a fool, like an idiot. He just couldn't focus. And he ended up directing all that into being one of the greatest drummers of all time, who unfortunately like abused drugs and alcohol pretty hard. Now, at the end of his life, his plan was actually to give it all up. He had a kid and had a failed marriage, and he was kind of realizing that once you get into your 30s that you're not invincible forever. So he had tried to quit doing the hard drugs, and it was actually the last night of life here that he was supposed to go to a party that Paul McCartney was having for the release of the Buddy Holly story, and he didn't want to go. And then somewhere in the evening, he talked himself into it and called his drug dealer and scored some drugs so that he could be social. He and his girlfriend went to the party. They stayed for a little while, socialized with people, and in fact told everyone there, like Keith was telling everyone there, that he was planning on proposing to his girlfriend the next day. At any rate, when the movie started to show, Keith didn't want to watch it. He just couldn't sit still and told his girlfriend he wanted to come home. So they came home, went up to the top flat, and lay down to go to bed. Keith woke up in the middle of the night and was hungry and asked his girlfriend to go cook him some lamb. So she cooked him some food, and he went to sleep and never woke up again. So crazy. That's 2 extremely famous rock and roll musicians. They've actually changed the address from what it was back then, but we were able to track it down by finding the exterior. So I saw some photos of someone that got inside years ago looking out the window of the bedroom, and I believe this was that window. So it would have been up here in this room that both Cass Elliot and Keith Moon would have passed away. And that would have been Harry Nilsson's courtyard out here. Another angle from the other side of where that bedroom window is, right inside there. Would have been their bed would have been literally right there. We're trying to make our way over for one last stop for you guys for the day before we end the vlog. Little Wimbledon display at Ralph Lauren.
No, those ones. Watch out.
Well, we have hit our last destination of the day. I'll show you this blue placard sign and tell you what it says. And then we'll let Stefan run away with this one. It says, the Beatles played their last live performance on the roof of this building, January 30th, 1969. So right up there is where we would have seen the Fab Four performing "Don't Let Me Down." Like Stefan said as we walked over, he's like, can you just imagine hearing those songs echoing through these streets back in 1969? Now if you're wondering what this is, it's an Abercrombie Kids. It's taken over. So here's a photo of them on the rooftop of the same building, performing. You would have seen that in Let It Be. All right, Stefan, this was your stop. It's your birthday. You wanted to come here because you're a Beatles fan. What else was here other than that awesome concert? Not only the Fab Four, but Billy Preston also is it part of that.
Billy Preston, but also Apple Corp.
This was Apple Corp, right?
Which was not Apple, Mac Apple, but before Apple Mac, there was a little band called the Beatles, which was their business, side business. And if you don't know much about Apple Records and their business, they were doing actually a record company. And
right.
Recording like Badfinger.
And actually they said that in the basement of this building, when they recorded the in the basement they had a recording studio, and that's why they ended up doing that concert on the roof here, was because they were trying to figure out where they wanted to do it, and John Lennon said, well, anywhere we go we're gonna have to haul all the equipment, why don't we just go up to the roof? And Alan Parsons was actually the recording engineer for the audio on that recording. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And you can probably see some footage if you look it up of the Beatles actually walking down these stairs.
You said you've seen footage of them walking down these stairs.
Walking down these stairs and actually walking up here. And if I'm mistaken, you'll see George Harrison. There's a video of him with a black, like kind of mink, kind of a hat, and Yoko and John all walking here really quick, ruffling through the steps like this.
It's pretty cool. The last performance, the last live performance, dude, you were standing at the foot of where it all happened. People just like us would have been standing right on this sidewalk watching them perform if they're going, what the heck is going on?
Now think about it. January 30th, 1969, okay? Right up there on that rooftop.
Get back.
It was an afternoon, lunchtime, people were working. All of a sudden, oh look, there's some Barbies, you don't see many of them. Walking around the top, all of a sudden you hear, get back. And here's in set order of the songs. The set list of the Beatles, get back, take one, get back, take two, don't let me down, take one, I've got a feeling, one after 909, dig a pony, I've got a feeling they did take two, then they did take two of Don't Let Me Down, and the final take three of ever recorded live, all original members, Get Back, which they never did get back, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's crazy that all happened up there. We saw they're selling Beatles shirts inside. Let's come in and take a look at what Apple Corps would have been like. Whoa, signed by Paul McCartney. And here's a little history. It says the building became the Beatles headquarters. Each member of the band had his own individual office with a recording studio in the basement. They bought it on June 22nd, 1968. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then there's an autograph. And there's the three. Here's some more memorabilia in this case. Old record players and things like that. A John Lennon guitar. Got to see his signature up there. The Epiphone. I think we should take the stairs as far up as we can since this was their offices. Here he comes. He's walking up to John Lennon's office. So this very well could have been somebody's office, or right in here could have been one of the offices. Stefan, get out of Paul's office. Mr. McCartney to you. Let's go up. We're walking up the same stairs that the Beatles would have used Pretty cool. This is the highest room that you can get to. So let's look out the window. We can at least see some of the surroundings, maybe what they would have seen while they were performing. And this could have been Ringo's office for all we know. Now selling kids' clothes. I wonder if this door has a staircase that goes up as well to the roof. Well, we just opened up the door and that is certainly the way to the roof right there. You can see the Seville Row sign out there and everything, so this would have been as high up or as close as we can get to the roof to see what they would have seen as they performed, looking down on all the spectators that are going, what the heck? Is that John Lennon up there? And they even sell Beatles shirts commemorating the event for kids. Well, my friends, I think we're gonna call it a day. I want to thank Kelly Wiles, Rachel Delgado, Jeffrey Kidd, and Ann Santos for all making contributions to my channel. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's vlog, Stefan's birthday vlog, and I already warned you what we're doing tomorrow, so come back and see us tomorrow. Have a great night, and goodbye.